Hey, it's Cal Ewing here, coming from my home city of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm at the Stampede grounds today. Got the Saddle Dome behind me where the Calgary Flames play. Got some pretty awesome Western sculptures here. Spring has finally reached us here in Alberta, so it's a nice day to be out. And I don't really spend a lot of time here, so it's kind of cool to be hanging out. Anyways, that's not why I'm taking this video. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about when you're buying a note and some of the things you need to get from the note seller. We're actually buying a contract for deed right now in Ohio, and originally it was marketed by the seller as a performing contract for deed. And as we started doing our due diligence, well, let me back up. We did some basic due diligence and made an offer, assuming that it was a performing contract for deed, based on the terms of the contract. So what the borrower is paying, the interest rate, the loan balance, the payoff, the estimated property value, etc. So I made an offer and I got it accepted. And then we started doing more due diligence, and we got our broker price opinion in, and it looked like we had some pretty good equity behind the land contract, which was great. But as we started getting more information about the payoff history from the borrower slash contract for deed grantee, I guess, we started noticing that they were actually 3 months behind on their payments on the land contract. And again, a land contract is similar to a mortgage note. I've got some other videos about land contracts explaining how they're different, but let's just assume it's kind of like a note or a mortgage. So the borrower owes money and they're paying a monthly interest rate and monthly payment that includes principal and interest. Anyway, so we were doing our due diligence and found out they're actually 3 months behind. So when I make my offers on a performing note, I'm always a little bit higher just to be more competitive, because usually note sellers are looking for a higher sale price on a performing note versus a non-performing note. So once I found out that they were 3 months behind on their payments, I renegotiated, saying, look, you marketed this as a performer, but it's not. It's 3 months behind. It's a non-performer. So tell me a little bit more about what's going on. And so the seller told me that basically they had got into some trouble and they were behind, but they're working to get caught up again. And they should be caught up on their payments by mid-May. They've been starting to make 2 payments a month trying to get caught up, which is fine. And the seller said they had a modification, or not modification, but like a plan in place, I guess. I haven't seen any paperwork, but a plan in place with the borrower to get them caught up again. So, of course, I haven't seen any documents. And so that's one of the things I want to talk about, is if your seller is saying something in terms of anything that's negotiated with the borrower, you want to be able to have some sort of paperwork showing that communication, whether that's a document or even an email thread, a letter, whatever it might be. So that's number one. The other thing is that I haven't seen anything except payment history on an amortization table. So they basically sent me a spreadsheet showing, since the origination in 2021 of this contract for deed, the payment history, but nothing else. So I don't have any servicing notes. They're self-servicing. I don't have any servicing notes yet, so I don't know what the communication has been like between the lender and the borrower. I don't really know what the situation is with the borrower, why they stopped paying, what kind of situation that they're in that caused them to get behind. So I'm waiting to get servicing notes and some communication history, if there is any, just so I can get a feel for what's actually going on before I close on this note or contract for deed. So that's what you want to be asking. If you're looking to buy a note, you want to be making sure not only are you getting the payment history, but you want to be getting the notes and communication. There should be communication notes between the servicing company that's servicing the note and the borrower, so you can get a feel for what's actually going on. You can get a feel for how high maintenance the borrower might be, or if they're in any trouble, or if they're really trying hard to cooperate and get paying again. That's really important to make decisions when you're buying a note, so you know what to expect once you're the owner of that note and they now owe you the money. Because it could be a situation where you're going to have to foreclose, or it could be a situation where you're going to be able to get them caught up right away and things are going to be great. So you need that information from the servicing company or the note seller. So the other thing is, if they don't get caught up, we're supposed to close mid-May. If they don't get caught up on their payments like the note seller says they're going to, then we're going to have to negotiate even lower purchase price, because I was told that it's a performing note, and so we're going to have to fade our bid, because now we're going to be buying a non-performing note. And so if we're able to do that, we're looking at a 19% return, which is awesome if we can get them actually paying again. And if we can't get them paying again, and we do have to foreclose, or I guess in this case a land contract or contract for deed, we wouldn't have to foreclose. We could just basically cancel the land contract, forfeit it, and then if we have to evict, we may have to evict them. But in that case, then we would be the owner of the property, and we could just sell it, and we've got about, I think there's about 30K in equity. So either way, it looks like a good deal, even if they don't end up getting caught up in their payments. You just got to make sure you got all the information so you know what to expect, and you make the right offer, and you're not paying too much for the note. So I'm Cal Ewing, coming at you from the Saddle Dome in Calgary, Alberta. Hope you're enjoying your spring. We'll talk to you soon.